Welcome to Chapter 3. Before we dive in, I want you to know about a misconception a lot of beginners go through. A lot of us are told that playing piano is all about hitting the right notes. It's not. It's about when you hit them, and it's also about when you don't. Today, you'll learn how music actually moves through time, how to count beats, follow a steady pulse, understand tempo, read the time signature, and know exactly how long to play and how long to rest. By the end, you won't be guessing where the beat is, you'll know it, you'll feel it, and you'll control both the sound and silence. Let's get started. Before we play anything, we need one skill that makes music sound good instantly: keeping time. You learned major and minor chords in the previous lesson. Now we need to learn how to play those chords in time. Timing is what separates random notes from real music. Even if you play the right notes, if your timing is off, it won't sound right. Think of music like a clock. The clock is the beat. A steady pulse you can tap your foot to. Your job is simple: don't break the clock. Now clap your hands with me. Count 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. That steady counting is your time. Now, rhythm is just where you place the sounds on that beat. So if you can keep the beat steady, you can play anything in time. Let's try to play the chords we learned from the previous lesson: C, A minor, F, and G. We're going to play the chords on the first count of the beat and change to another chord after every 4 counts. Let's try it out. Alright, now we're going to use a tool that will level up your timing fast: the metronome. A metronome is basically a beat machine. It makes a steady click so you don't speed up or slow down. Think of it like a music clock. It keeps you honest. Now let me show you the main parts you'll see on most metronomes. There are many kinds of metronomes out there. This is a classic one in which a needle moves and makes clicking sounds to keep time. But nowadays we have digital ones that we can download as apps. One that I like to use is by Soundbrenner. You can download it from the App Store or Play Store. So let me get into the anatomy of the metronome. Before we touch anything else, you need to understand one word: BPM. BPM means beats per minute. So if this says 120 BPM, that means the metronome is giving you 120 beats in 1 minute. Now, easy way to feel it: 60 BPM feels like 1 click per second. So 120 BPM is roughly double that speed. Above BPM it says allegretto. That's just a musical word that describes the speed range you're in. There are different names for speed ranges. It's not as important as the number, but it helps you understand the general feel. So BPM is basically your speed control. Faster number, faster beat; slower number, slower beat. So when you hear a song, it's being played in a certain speed, which is also called the tempo of the song. And the big circle down there, this is the tempo dial. You can change the BPM, which changes how fast the clicks happen. Now, once the BPM is set, the next question is, what exactly is each beat? Like, what are we counting? That's where this button comes in: 4x4. Now, 4x4 is the time signature. It means we group the beats into sets of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll get into the details of why it is in fractions in a bit. For now, just remember that your BPM tells you how fast the beats are happening, and your time signature tells you how those beats are grouped into bars. Here, 4x4 means it's grouped into 4s, and you can see the groups of 4 here. You can change the groups into 3x4, which changes the groups here into 3s. You can also change it into 5s and others, but the most common ones used in music are 4s and 3s. But we'll stick with 4s for now. Now, this middle button, the music note, is where you control the note value and subdivisions. I'll get to that in a moment, but first let's get back into what we were playing before. While we were playing our chord progression, we played every chord on the first note and we kept it ringing till the 4th count. Now let's get into the length of playing notes. A musical note's length means how many beats you hold it. If your metronome is clicking 4x4 and you hold the note for the complete 4 beats, you call it whole note. and the symbol for that is this, a circle-like thing. So you play the notes holding it for 4 counts like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. But what if you play it for half the time, for only 2 counts? Then the whole note is reduced to a half note, and the symbol turns into a circle with a line above it. So the circle part is called the note head, and the line is called a stem. So while playing half notes, we play the notes as long as for 2 clicks. Since we have a total of 4 clicks, there are still 2 more clicks left to play. Now you have a choice to play on those 2 clicks as well, or not play anything and let the 2 clicks play in silence. But let's play the half note chords again on 3 and 4 as well. Together, they sound like this. So let's divide the half notes further into quarter notes. And you guessed it, the note's name is also called a quarter note, and the symbol becomes this. So in a quarter note, the note head becomes total black. It is still called the note head, but just black. Quarter notes are played for only 1 count, so in a total of 4 counts, we will be playing the chords only for 1 count. Here we can play 4 quarter note chords for 4 counts. So coming back to our metronome, the note value that we have here is a quarter note. Since the time signature is 4 by 4, it is saying that the metronome is playing 4 clicks of quarter notes. If it was 3 by 4, it'll be playing 3 clicks of quarter notes. Now let's continue and divide these notes even further. When we divide the quarter notes again, we're going to end up with 8 notes. Hence we call it eighth notes, and the symbol is this. A quarter note with a curvy tail from the top of the stem, which is called a flag, makes an eighth note. 2 eighth notes fit inside 1 click. So in between each click, we'll be counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Each beat is split into 2 parts, a number and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Again, moving forward, we can divide eighth notes into 16th notes. We can fit 4 16th notes inside 1 click. Now each beat is split up into 4 parts. So we start counting as 1E and a, 2E and a, 3E and a, 4E and a. So now we are adding E and a in between our ands. So let's try playing that as well. 1E and a, 2E and a, 3E and a, 4E and a. Now we can keep dividing the 16th notes into 32nd notes, but the counts become really fast, and it'll be pretty hard to count 16 notes within a single click. But if you want to try to take up the challenge, you can try with this. And as we keep dividing further, we can go up to 64 notes and so on, and keep adding a flag every time. Alright, now we're going to learn every common note length and the rest that matches it side by side. Here's the golden rule. A rest is the same timing as the note. It's just a silence instead of a sound. So what does that mean? Let's start with a whole note and a whole rest. A whole rest looks like this. It's a small rectangle that hangs down from a line. Same timing, but 4 beats of silence. Next, half note and half rest. The matching rest to a half note is a small rectangle that sits on a line. Same timing, but 2 beats of silence. Quick memory tip. Whole rest hangs down, half rest sits up. Moving to quarter notes and quarter rests, the matching rest is a squiggly one that looks like a lightning bolt. It equals to 1 beat of silence. Eighth note and eighth rest. The eighth rest matches 1 flag of the eighth note with 1 hook. It equals to half a beat of silence. Now the 16th has 2 hooks, similar to the 16th note having 2 flags. Same timing, 1/4 of a beat of silence. 32nd rest has 3 hooks, same duration, but 1/8 of a beat of silence. So you can see that the hooks start increasing as the rests keep going. Here's 64 rests with 4 hooks, 1/16 of a beat of silence. Now here's the full notes and rests side by side. And if you want the cheat sheets for all of the beginner's piano course video, we have a PDF down in the link below. It includes all the chapters that we have for the course, and it covers everything you need to know from this course and acts like a guidebook or notes if you later in the future need to go back and check anything or revise. So how do we use everything we learned today? I'll give you a basic idea and you'll be able to use it with infinite possibilities. First, let's put our tempo to 60 BPM, a fairly slow speed. Then let's take this simple chord progression and start playing those notes for each chord. Let's try with half notes. Half notes are 2 counts, so we'll play 1, 2, and then play again on 3, 4, then change the chord to the next. Now let's try with quarter notes. Quarter notes are 1 count, so we'll be playing on each click. Now let's try with eighth notes. Eighth notes are counted as 1N, 2N, 3N, 4N. We can make a lot of combinations with notes and rests. Let's try playing on the ands in this and not play anything on the numbers. So we're putting rests on the numbers and an eighth note on the ands. Let's try counting first. We're going to accent on the notes we're going to play by singing a little louder. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Now the tempo is pretty slow, so if we increase it to 80 BPM, it's going to have a little more feel to it. Sounds a bit like reggae music. If you have trouble increasing the tempo, always remember to increase the tempo little by little. Maybe practice on 60 BPM and increase 5 BPM to 65. This way you can increase the tempo taking small steps to reach 80. This is exactly what it means to practice an instrument. Let's try another combination. Here we're playing on the 1. The end of 1 is a rest, and so is the 2. But we play on the end of 2. The 3 and the end are both rests, and we play on 4, and the end of a 4 is a rest. Before we play, let's start singing them first. Like before, we're going to accent the notes we're going to play by singing them a bit louder. Once you're used to this, we'll start playing them by our accents. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now let's try playing them on our accents. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now again, you can practice by slowly increasing your speed. For this one, we're going to go double the speed to 120. Let's try it out. Great job! There are many possibilities of these patterns that you can create on your own. Always remember to start slow and gradually increase the tempo. That's that. Let's do one more, but for 3x4 time signature in a tempo of 60 BPM. In this case, the metronome's counting 3 beats or clicks of quarter notes, but we'll be playing eighth notes. We'll be playing for 3 counts and changing the chord to the next. Let's give it a try. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. Awesome. Now that you have a strong idea of how timings work, you can finally start playing songs in time and experimenting with different feels. Try listening to your favorite songs and pay attention to how the piano chords are being played. You'll notice that they follow a certain pattern or a combination of different patterns. We'll explore even further in later chapters when we begin reading notations, and I'll introduce more concepts that will continue to level up your playing. For now, I know this is a lot to sink in, so take your time and practice with our interactive sessions. They're in the link below, and I'll see you in the next chapter.